Hello again. I am back with another demonstration video. Today we are going to be doing two exercises. Let's take a look at the first one. Now on this drawing, I know the previous ones there weren't any specific dimensions, but with this first exercise, this object here, the outside circle, the diameter needs to be 3.2, and for this object here, the area or the length of the square needs to be 3.2 and the width needs to be 3.2. So keep that in mind as we're doing this. Also, this third object down here at the bottom, the length needs to be 4.8 and the width needs to be 3.2. So basically we'll be able just to move this outside circle within this square to fit within the square, which is 3.2 by 3.2. And the only thing we're going to change about the dimensions down here is this is still going to be 3.2, the width, but the length is going to be 4.8. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm going to bring up the layers and the properties. Make sure everything is square. Get the object line selected. Okay, I can move those out of the way. Expand that. Z, enter, A, enter. And again, for those who are watching, these videos are more set up just for me to, sharpen my skills. It's not necessarily a tutorial. But if you do have questions, and if I get enough requests, I guess I will, start evolving these into some type of tutorial. But just for now, these are just demonstrations. Alright, so anyway, first object we're going to draw is the circle, and the key command for that is just C, enter. You want to pay close attention to the command line here, which will kind of guide you and keep you on track to where, what you're trying to actually do. So just going to specify the center point like it says here. I'm going to type D for diameter, specify the diameter, and it needs to be 3.2. Simple, right? Alright, so, and then there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3 more circles within this circle. And the only one that was specified was this outside circle, which is 3.2. So we can just make these whatever diameter we want, just as long as they fit within the outermost diameter circle. So let's see if 1, 2, 3 circles within this one. So press enter will bring back the circle command, or spacebar will bring the circle command back. Enter. Oh, spacebar. And one more. Spacebar brings the circle command back up. Specify the center. And that's it for the first object. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this outside I'll tell you what, for the second object, I'm going to go ahead and just draw do the rec for a rectangle. And I will specify the first point. Now the dimensions of this rectangle, which actually turns out to be a square, is 3.2. So D for dimensions, and the length is going to be 3.2, and the width is going to be 3.2. See how easy that pops up? So just gonna place that right there, and you will notice, let me bring the screenshot back up, that the square has this circle, which is 3.2, which is this one. So I'm just going to copy this into this square. So I'm going to select it. If I can get it. Copy selection. It's my base. I'll try to line this up as close as I can. Of course, I've got increment snap on, so it doesn't help. See right there, that should be good. All right. See that? All right, the third object. Again, we're going to use the rec command, rectangle command. Specify the first point, which is here. Do the dimensions, D for dimensions, because it says it right here. And I know what my dimensions are. Length is 4.8. And the width is 3.2. And it pops up. Perfect. And just have to use the line command, L, enter. Make a few lines within this object. Hold the shift key down to make it diagonal. Enter, shift. Spacebar brings the line command back. Spacebar brings the line command back. And that is it. Take a quick look at the screenshot again. You notice it's the same. Yeah. We're good. All right, so we're gonna move on to our final drawing, which is, let me get rid of this. Just this one here. This exercise has a few specific attributes that we have to consider once we're making these objects, which I will be explaining as we're doing it. Alright, well anyway, this one here, this object is basically a rectangle, but it has a, it's called a chamfer, you know, and those of you who are familiar with the AutoCAD program, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And this one right here is a rectangle, but it's called a fillet, which the corners are just, they have a radius, they're rounded. And this one here, this is just at an angle. It's been rotated. There's a rotation command that we'll be using. And on this final one here, it's a rectangle. We've just adjusted the width. And I don't mean the width as far as what's included in the area. I mean the width of the actual line. So anyway, it'll make more sense as I'm explaining it as we're doing a drawing. So we'll start here. Oh, where's my cursor? Let's see. There we go. Alright, so first object, we want to bring up the rectangle command, so it's REC, enter. And we want to establish, this is going to be a chamfer. So if you look down here in the command line, you will see chamfer as a selection. So just press C, enter. And now we need to establish the distance. All right, the first distance is going to be 0.50. And the second distance is also going to be 0.50. All right, so all we just need to do now is specify the dimensions, which is the length is 3 and the width is 2. So let me establish the first point. Look on the command line, you see where it says dimensions, so we'll type D for dimensions. And it asks for the length of the rectangle, which is, like I said, 3, and the width is 2. Yeah, there we got our first object right there. Chamfer just means the rectangle has been, well, it's not completely a rectangle. It just has, the corners are cut off. So this is what's known as a chamfer. Okay, moving on to the second object, which is a fillet, but it still uses the REC, the rectangle command, REC, enter. And what you want to do is, before you can actually make this object, you have to set the chamfer back to 0. You see it's still on 0.50 right there. Set that to 0. Oh, 0, 0. All right, and go back to the REC command, and we're going to do F for fillet because it says fillet here as an option. So press F, enter. Now the radius of this fillet from the exercise that I'm doing in the workbook says the radius is 0.50. 0.50. Now all we need to do is specify first corner. And you see the edges are already rounded on all 4 of them. And if you look here on the command line, it says dimensions. We have specific dimensions we need to follow. So press D for dimensions. And it asks for the length, which is 3. Width is 2. And there it goes. Got our fillet. Alright. And before we can draw the third object, we have to go back into the REC command, and we need to prevent the next object from having the rounded edges, we have to cancel out the radius that we had to input in our last object. So F 0 I cancel that out. All right, go back into REC, enter. Now we're going to do our specified first point. Now in this third object, it is asking for a rotation of 45. So if you look at the command line, you'll see rotation here as an option. So you type in R and specify the rotation angle. They are asking for 45 degrees. Hit 45. Now, this is also asking for dimensions for the length to be 3 and the width to be 2. So hit D for dimensions. Length is 3, width is 2, and we have our rectangle at a 45-degree angle. Now our fourth and final object is another rectangle. And let's see, for this one, specify the corner, first corner. We need to go on the rotation to cancel out the rotation, which was 45 for our last object. Just make it 0. Alright. Now we'll go back into the rectangle command, which is REC, enter. And you'll notice in the command line it says width. And we need to change that width to, so we'll hit W and we'll make that 0.200. So enter. And specify the first point and the dimensions on this one also. D for dimensions is length 3, width 2, bam. And you've got, oh, let me bring that back up. Oh, well, see, sometimes that happens. REC W and D for dimensions. Alright, there we go. Let me move all these. Up, so it can be seen on the grid. There we go. All right, and that's it. Check the screenshot. Again, these are simple exercises, but they're necessary. Simple, but necessary, yeah. Alright guys, that's all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and stay tuned for the next video. We'll be doing something a little different, but still fairly simple. Alright guys, thanks again for watching.